Well, yeah, that was a crazy one. Absolutely crazy. Just a whirlwind of emotions going back and forth. Just a lot of credit to both teams. It's you look at the number and how hard it is to come here on a home opener. What Denver does. Last 18 games they've won 17 out of 18, and so it's a testament to what they do, but also I think to the way our guys battled. It was one of those games where could have came down to a field goal like that, or Vic, going for two. And in the end, though, the only thing that matters is that we hung together. We never ever doubted each other. We kept fighting. We kept plugging away, and then we never let a big swing of emotion affect us finishing a game. And that's the coolest part of tonight.
Matt, on the sideline, as the emotion was swinging and the point score was swinging, could you feel it? Could you feel your team resisting it? How did they process it?
At what point of the game?
Just, talking like the last 30 seconds where you have the offside on the PAT, they go for two again, they make it, and you guys get the ball, you're backed up in 4th and 15.
Right. Yeah, you can't make that up. So to answer your question, for me, you just go for, he's going to go for two. Okay, so let's figure out, do we need to call a timeout and see what they're doing, or do we want to just play it out? And then there's a false start, and now he's going to kick the extra point. And now, by the way, you're going to miss the extra point, but then guess what? There's going to be, a penalty on that, so you get a retry, and now, okay, let's go back out and go for two, and now we're going to get it. And so for that whole time, to be, in the lead like we were, but to give it back up at home on the road, you could feel it. And I think what's a great teaching moment for us that other people aren't around for is we just used the Saints-Texans game as an example to our team 2 days after that occurred. And it was almost the exact same situation. Crazy. And so we talk through it. We ask questions, they answer, they say, what do you do in this situation? What do you do in that situation? And so once they got the 2-point conversion, we went up and down the sideline to all the offensive guys and we said, we just watched this. Let's go do the same thing. And, they believed it, they did it, and we said, you need 1 second in the ball. If you got 1 second in the ball, you got a chance to win. And then, you can't overshadow our kicker, Eddie. That's I'm so proud, so happy for that kid. Yeah. Right. These are they just absolutely multiply your confidence to another level. And so for him, I like rooting for good people, and he's a good person, and he fought through a lot to get to this point to where he's at right now. And he listened to his coaches, he trusted himself, and he has his teammates that believed in him throughout this whole process. So I always say good things happen to good people. Well, he's good people, and good things happen today. And he helped us win that game. He had a 40-yarder, a 52-yarder, a 53-yarder to win the game. Can't make that up.
You said the 1 second. You talked about 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
How did you communicate to the referee to make sure that you were going to have it? Because Allen goes down there.
Yeah, he was right there next to me right before the play, and I just told him, I said, hey, stay with me. And there were several times today that we did that with the ref, and they were great. They did that, and I could see, just as the play was going on, I could look straight ahead and see at the game clock, and I saw him go down when I was calling it. So I knew I really felt confident there was at least 1 second left. Go ahead. I'll come back.
On the final pass, take us through what you saw and what Mitch saw obviously did.
Well, the middle of the field happened to be open, and it wasn't on time. So you have, I think, 9 seconds left. And the second I saw him push up in the pocket and take 2 hitches, I thought for a second he was going to take off and run because there was no one in the middle. And then once you give yourself up, the clock automatically stops. But A-Rob just popped open, and when he hit him, it was immediately like, get down. And so for those guys to understand, we explained to them that, and they knew this, our play, when you get down, you give yourself up, right away the clock stops. And so they did that. And afterwards, just talking to those guys and talking to Mitch, that no matter how these games go, right, as we go through this process, no matter how they go, you're going to be judged on your wins and losses. That's what it comes down to. And so when we fight through figuring out how we get going here offensively and what our identity is as we fight through that, let's get these wins. And we have a very good defense to be able to do that. So we keep fighting, we keep learning, and we just stick together.
So to what extent does that last throw kind of erase everything else that Mitch did in the game?
Well, for me, I think I've always been taught that quarterbacks are evaluated by how they finish games and what they do. And so this is, again, one of those games where you saw there just happened to be some more runs that went on. With that, we tried to control Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, two guys that can take over games. They're game changers. So we wanted to make sure we controlled them, wanted to get back to running the ball a little bit. And so when the time presents itself to throw the ball, we'll do that. But I don't know. You'll have to ask him. You'll have to ask other people. But to me, I'm just proud of that he made that throw at the end.
When you are looking at him and he's climbing the pocket and you think he's going to run, are you saying, I want you to throw? And you think
No, I'm not. Just play ball. They know. See,
guys are up downfield? Is that
doesn't matter. We teach them the scenario, and then we trust them to make the right decision. And then if you do that, then you got it. Then we'll know. We'll be evaluated by that if we did it the right way.
Now, was this one of those games where you just kind of have to stay committed to the run, even if, because early on you weren't necessarily getting big chunks of yardage, but you stuck with it, kind of wore them down as the game went on?
We did, and there were kind of a little bit of body shots, and we talked about that going into it, that, for myself, for the players, for the O-line, you get into a rhythm, and you want to be able to do that. And they did a good job early on in taking some things away, which is probably expected at times. But our guys, offensively, knowing where we were, finally to score that touchdown at the end, they showed resolve. My challenge to them, to the offense, this whole week was, what kind of resolve do we have and where are we at? And so we're going to be evaluated every week on how good we are and how many points we score. And however we end up doing that, in the end, some people might not see this because you're not with us all the time, but that locker room in there, the amount of smiles that we just had and the amount of guys that are offense, defense, special teams hugging each other and just saying good job, I'll take that.
Were you screaming for the timeout as the ball was in the air, or did you get
Not in the air. No, not in the air. But I was the second he caught the ball. Man, I was just kept doing it. And now he's not allowed to. He can't actually blow the whistle until it's truly dead. But I was right down there just trying to. Every second, every half second matters.
what was it like going against Vic today on the other side?
It's unique just because.
Coverage standpoint.
Yeah, no, he didn't change much stuff that what he does. I knew that he's not gonna do that. He's been coaching for 30-something years and he's not changing his stripes. So I just again, I want to give credit to them as a team, and that's a tough loss for them, today. But they'll bounce back because Vic will handle it the right way and he'll get those guys right. And but defensively, he's. The last 2 weeks now, our offense has gone against two pretty good defensive coordinators.
And how important was that Patterson big play?
Huge.
And if that's what you envision as far as the impact you expected.
Yeah, he can do that stuff. And there's going to be times that teams, are going to be looking for it. There's other times where he scat releases and does different things. Nothing's hidden with that. But that was the one play where you finally felt like, just a little bit, okay, we got to play here. We got a little bit of a chunk and got some momentum. And you could feel the guys coming off on the sideline after that run of, this is us. This is us right here. And so that felt good. But we'll go back and we got the win. In the end, that's what matters. We got that win. But now, just like last week, when you lose a tough game like that, you got to stay the course. And so this will help us get better. But we're not going to, same thing, blinders, earmuffs. Just stay the course and keep doing your thing.
Throughout the game, did you see signs that Trubisky was this close to getting in a groove, or is he just not there yet?
No, I think he was getting close. I thought he was in a groove at times, but they were doing some things to take away Allen Robinson. And Vic, we knew Vic was going to do that. He's been with us for a while. He knows that Allen's a pretty good wide receiver. So, we tried to get the run game going, and I don't know what our exact numbers were, but I think it goes back to the other thing too. When you're able to run the ball a little bit, you give your defense a little break and a breather. And I think there was a couple drives in there where we had nice amount of plays,
You had said in late April when you guys were setting up this kicking competition, your hope that you would get that chance for a game winner and a moment of redemption. Take me through that kick from your perspective, leading up to it and then afterwards.
Leading up to it, we talked about creating and craving pressure, and you try to practice it as much as you can. Is it that right there? Nope, not even close. But in a way, we tried to do as much as we can. You'll have to ask him. I don't know if it helped him or not. Maybe it did a little bit. I'd be curious to know. And if it didn't, that's okay. But you just, I give so much credit to Ryan Pace and to, Chris Tabor and just, our guys of just being able to go ahead and really, turn over every stone and try to figure out who is that guy. And I feel like we found him, and I'm just, I'm super stoked for him. Go ahead.
Defense gave you a lot today, but did you sense that they were kind of running on fumes?
Yeah, there were some times there that they were tired, and even there at the end, you saw Khalil come out on the fourth down, and so I just wanted to give him a breather with a call of timeout. I felt like it was more important for him to be out there on that fourth down, and he was tired. I mean, those guys, you could feel it, and so. But I don't think one day coming out here early is going to make it any better when they're going through that game and going through different plays.
That situation was like one of a few towards the end of the game we were debating.
Yeah.
And it looked like you were debating challenging the spot right before the 2-minute.
I was.
How important was it that you still had that?
It was tough. We were talking about that in there. That's a situation there. I really wanted to challenge that because to me there was 30-something seconds left, and man, if it's close and if that's a game-changing play, that's a win or a loss play decision. But credit to our coaches up in the booth, and credit to Coach Pagano because we were talking through some things, how we're going to handle this, and all those guys. It was a collaboration that they all agreed that we should not challenge that, and that's so when we decide not to do one and it's a bad decision, or when we do one and it's a good decision, you never know how it's going to turn out. But those guys deserve credit because I was like I wanted to drop it because I just felt like why not? We would still have one timeout left, but we ended up using that timeout for Khalil to get back in, and then we still had one.
How difficult is it to control your emotions versus a player when Buster Skrine has a penalty like that nullifies a missed kick that would have clinched the game?
Are you saying for me towards a player?
Yeah.
No, zero, because if I start showing emotion or I start showing frustration, then they're done. And so to tell you the truth, I didn't even know. We're prepping on offense. I'm trying to get ready to go playing worst case scenario that, okay, if this is the case, let's get our guys ready. And so we're playing through scenarios. And so I didn't even know who it was. I just knew that it was on us. I said, here we go. And then Vic did the deal. Here they come.
Matt, what's your 1-0 touchdown this season? Your thoughts on the effort that David showed to get it over by a hair?
Yeah, just simply that. They showed a front down there where they had us numbered a little bit, but to me, I'm proud of our offensive line and our running backs and our tight ends running the ball in right there. That was a little bit of a mindset deal that we're not throwing this football. We're going to run it in until we run it in, and so for whatever that's worth, that effort, I still I'll have to see it on tape, but. It felt good to get a touchdown. There's no doubt about that, and we'll keep plugging away, and we'll figure out what we need to do better. Thanks, guys. All right, see you.
Eddie Pinheiro is going to be next, and then Trubisky.
Can you just take us through the final kick? What you saw from the operation, how it felt when you swung, and then your emotion when you saw it was headed the way?
Well, I was just hitting some kicks into the net. Coach Tabor was just telling me, hey, get an easy swing in, this and that. I go, Coach, I got you. This one's for you, this and that. And just went out there and just hit my kick, so.
Eddie, how do you describe the adrenaline rush of the last 45 minutes and everything you've experienced?
Yeah, the biggest thing I could say is, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you better start because he's real. And that's like the biggest, on that, that's the biggest thing I can say. He's real, so.
Why did you say, Tabor, this is for you?
Oh, from all the things he's been through and the coaching staff's been through and the whole kicking situation, and it was pretty cool, so. It means everything. I've been working my butt off all the stuff that I've been through, the Augusta silence, the kickers getting cut left and right, and all the crazy things going on. It was a pretty cool moment to have this opportunity, and Scales freaking snapping on point, Pat holds on point. I mean, the whole operation was clean. So,
Did you guys say anything to each other as you came out there for that last game?
like running onto the kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking to Pat, and Pat's like, I mean, we always visualize, all right, Eddie, you know, where are you going to play this? So I'm going to play it a little bit right because the wind's going a little left. And we do it like a little game plan, and then we try to execute it. So.
How do you think everything you went through in that kicking competition, including the Augusta silence, which is exactly the
Yeah.
opposite of the players who listed?
Yeah, I think it's prepared me. I mean, like I said, all the crap that I've been through and all this stuff for the whole kicking situation and what happened last year and stuff. But, I mean, yeah. So.
And what do you do to calm your nerves or calm yourself and make sure you're staying in
Good question. I mean, like running out to that kick, just doing some drive swings and hitting some balls into the net, and then setting a prayer, and then just leaving it in his hands. And if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen. So.
How confident did you feel from that distance today?
Oh, yeah.
At the altitude?
Yeah, I felt confident. I felt pretty confident.
As the game was ensuing, as it was going on, developing, how much did you find yourself kind of hoping that
Yeah.
it would go the way it did? That
Yeah.
it was set up for you to
Yeah, I was talking to Pat on the sideline. I'm like, man, I hope I get this shot. Like, I've been practicing, my whole life for this, and all the stuff that I've been through. Like, I was praying, God, give me this shot to win the game, and thank God it happened. So,
You hit some big kicks in Florida and the
Yeah.
swamp in front of 100,000.
yeah.
How does this one feel different?
I mean, it felt different as far as like just the emotion. The emotions more. This was an emotional kick. Just like I said, from all the stuff that I've been through and the whole kicking situation, the Augusta silence, and do we have a kicker? Do we not have a kicker? And the media and everybody just piling in, and it was an amazing moment. So
So the Bears have a kicker?
I think they do, yeah.
And you literally saved the team from what would have been a horrible deflating loss today. What was the reaction from your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I was the main guy that saved the team. I mean, Trubisky threw a pass. We were able to get in field goal range. He helped out the defense, and I mean, it's all a collective, unit. It wasn't just that kick. A lot of stuff led up to that kick. So.
And you were essentially recruited into a situation that had nothing to do with you, but then had everything to do with you. What would it take for you to embrace that and understand that?
Yeah, like I said before, like I felt like I was in Florida. In Florida they had the worst kicker in Division I, and I came in with all this pressure and the fans and the media, the same exact thing. Is this kid gonna come through for us? This and that. Came through for them, and hopefully now I can keep coming through for Chicago. So this is not the first time I've been in a situation like this.
What did you to watch you, obviously, during the Augusta silence, not say a word?
Yeah.
Today they all mobbed you from the middle of the field all the way to the locker room. What did that feel like for you?
It felt great. I mean, the first thing that just came to my mind was just thanking God, and just, I mean, it was an emotional kick. My teammates, everybody, just for them, for Chicago. I mean, they deserve it. So.
Eddie, did you think the clock ran out?
Do I think the clock right now?
Were you sure when Matt said he got the timeout and the scoreboard said 0-0?
Yeah.
What's going through your head as you're trying to figure it out?
I didn't even think about that. I was just so concentrated on just trying to make the kick and getting some kicks into the net and stuff like that. And when I heard the ref say they put 1 second back on the clock or whatever, I go, okay, now I got a shot. So.
Do you remember anything anyone said to you in that mob, or was it all just kind of a blur?
No, that was everybody was just screaming and slapping me and screaming, and it was pretty cool.
And what was Clubbed Up like?
Clubbed Up was fun. I put my hat on, my cowboy hat, and we danced a little bit, and hopefully there's more. So.
And you talked a lot about your confidence.
Yeah.
And Chris and Matt say you're a confident kicker. What's the difference between being confident going into a kick like that,
Yeah.
then coming out of a day like today where you hit 2 from beyond 50, one's the game winner, and have that moment, have those results?
Yeah, I mean, I said the biggest thing is just the practice. In practice, just trying to be as perfect as you can. It starts in practice and then it carries on to the game. I had a really good practice this week, and I had a really confident feeling that I was going to have a good game. So I think it just all starts in practice and hitting some good balls in practice, and that translating into the game. So.
We got one more. Talked to you guys about the New Orleans game from earlier.
Oh yeah.
What did you take away when you guys reviewed that sequence and obviously seeing a fellow kicker?
I was hoping I was Will Lutz in that situation. I was hoping I was the kicker in that situation, because this is what you practice, this is what you play for, and this is where you work your butt off for. And to be in that situation, to have that opportunity, I was praying for it on the sideline. So, Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
That's not how you draw it up. It's definitely not.
Can you take us through 4th and 15, Mitch, what you felt as you decided to climb the pocket, and then what you
Yeah.
saw?
I knew it was going to be the last play, but we had to somehow get in position to give special teams and Eddie a chance. And so I liked our call. I just knew I had to buy a little more time to let the middle open up. So I was kind of I definitely didn't want to leave from the outside. So just kind of buy time in the pocket, make it look like I was going to leave the pocket. But then the O-line did a great job of just giving me time, blocking those guys up front. And I kind of just moved in the pocket, saw an opening, and Allen was right there in the middle of the field, and very savvy by him to know to go down and then get a timeout to get 1 second left.
Sorry, what's the difference for you there between deciding to run or pass? And it's kind of sounding like you never thought about running.
Yeah, I knew we had to get a pass, and I knew he was going to be open in the middle of the field. And I think the threat of them thinking I was going to run or at least leave the pocket left Allen open, and I still haven't seen it, so it's kind of like all crazy. But that's what I could remember. That I climbed the pocket, it was wide open, and I knew it wasn't going to be open right away. But if it kind of delayed, then they kind of play soft and let it off, because as time goes, I think as a defense, you just want the time to run out. But I climbed the pocket, Allen was there, he got down, and we had enough time to call timeout.
Initially, it seemed like the clock had ran out. Did you have that moment of, that emotion of, man, we just missed out?
No, I was pretty positive there was 1 second on the clock, because I was watching the play clocks are in a good area where I can see it, and I saw Allen go down, and I was trying to get by the ref to call a timeout. So I saw there was 1 second.
Mitch, to what extent does that last throw make up for, if not erase, what transpired for you during the game, the difficulties you had? Does that make up for, is it just the last throw, or is?
Obviously, there's stuff we got to clean up, specifically me on offense, just getting better and finding more balance within the pass game. I thought O-line did a great job today creating holes for the run game, and we want to be more explosive as a passing offense as well. But, I mean, when it comes down to the end, we just found a way, and it wasn't just me having that pass. It was the O-line with protection, the guys getting open, and everybody still believing that we could get in position, and then special teams doing a great job, and Eddie making the kick of the game and getting that win. So we know we're not where we want to be as an offense. I'm not where I want to be as a quarterback, but you use these games and use these wins as momentum to keep getting better and finding ways to win and keep improving our skills.
Man, some of the other players talked about that you guys were going to the scenario with the Saints game at the end. How big was that? How much did you kind of think about
Yeah, there was a lot of similarities between our ending and theirs. Gutsy call by them to go by 2, and then they back it up, and then we get a penalty on the missed kick, and then they end up getting the 2. So just being aware of those situations and knowing that we're not out of it until the clock's 0-0-0, and then just still believing that we could get in that chance. But we saw that clip this week. It was really good to learn from, and I think we were better prepared for this game and that ending at the situation because of going over that as an offense.
You get the timeout. What's going through your mind emotionally as Eddie comes up to it? I mean, you got the Philadelphia kicker last year, you got the kicking competition all offseason. Take us through your emotions as you get ready.
Yeah, I was pretty positive he was going to put it through. He's got a lot of confidence right now, and we're behind him 100% of the way, and I think he feeds off that, and we feed off him as well, that energy, and he had 2 big kicks earlier in the game, and I was pretty positive that was going to go through, and he just he made a heck of a kick, and great snap by Pat, and great hold by the other Pat, and it was just great operation, and it's good to see that happen for Eddie.
Where were you watching the kick at, and what did you do?
Like around the 50. Around the 50, I was trying to get a good angle. I didn't want to look at first, but it was just, I'm really happy it went through.
Once he hit it, what did you do?
He crushed it. Well, I didn't want to go on the field until I knew it went through, and then I saw him running, and then we all chased after Eddie because it it was just pandemonium. It was awesome, really exciting.
How tough is it to deal with the emotional highs and lows that you just went through all the things that happened in the last minute of the game where it's like you're gonna win, you're gonna lose, you're gonna win, you're gonna lose. What's that like?
Yeah, you just, yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely an emotional roller coaster. You just try to take it one play at a time and control what you can control. And I was out there just saying to myself, I got to find a completion because we've been in that position before, and I didn't necessarily do what I needed to do. But a couple things go our way, and you make one throw to put us in position, and you just got to believe that that play could be the difference in the game when you get to that point. So you just got to stay even keeled and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Mitch, in the spirit of the game, did you feel you were roughed by Chubb?
It's really hard to say when you're on the ground. He crushed me. So, I mean, whether I get the call or not, it's not up to me. I was just out there trying to do my job.
If they didn't call that, would you have been upset that they should have called it?
No, not really. I mean, either way, it's sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. They got one, and it's football. It is what it is, and yeah,
What did they do against you from a coverage standpoint
yeah.
today?
I think he left open some areas for us to run the ball, which we did really well up front, creating holes for the guys. They played a lot of shell defense, clouding the side. And taking away A-Rob, and they did some good things, just pushing the coverage to the passing strength and just locking down the one-on-ones on the backside. And obviously against this defense, we did a great job giving them no sacks, but they make you get the ball out quick, and so it's kind of hard to have longer developing plays, long plays down the field. But that's a really good defense, and they're in the right place in the right time. And there were a couple throws that I thought I put in a great spot, but they just made the defensive play. I think there was one early on. And then one in the third or fourth quarter where I thought I threw a pretty good ball, but they just batted it down, just being in the right spot, making plays. So credit goes to them as well, but we just got to keep getting better as an offense.
What were your thoughts on David's touchdown run and his ability to get that thing over the goal line by?
Yeah, it was awesome. We went run, and we were just like, we got to push this in behind our O-line, and I kind of called the play, and yeah, he was like looking at me. He's like, again? I was like, put this thing in, man. I said, put this in. He's like, all right. So then he went over the top, and I said, that's how you do it. And not saying I could do it, but he did a heck of a job. And those guys just need extra motivation down there. That it doesn't matter what we call. The O-line's got to block it. The running back's got to make a play, and we just got to believe it's more about execution, not the play.
How would you describe how you feel emerging from the last 9 days where the criticism has been there, the performance from Green Bay, talked about so much, and then the first 3 quarters and 14-59 to come out with a win at the end of all of that?
Yeah, I mean, people are going to say what they're going to say, and I know I still got a long way to go and still improving my game, but my job is to help my team win games, and it wasn't the prettiest, but we came in with a win, and helped put them in a spot to let Eddie boot that one through for the game winner. So you feel good about that, but we're going to look at the film later and know that we still got a ways to go, and I got to keep improving and making sure that I continue to put this team in a good place to allow us to win games.
Do you think that toss to Cordero was one positive play that got things going?
Yeah, definitely. You wanna get the ball into Cordero's hands as many times as we can, and that was one of those big plays that we said if we could earlier in the week is if we can get him on the edge that he's going to be gone. It's going to be a big play for us. So O-line did a great job blocking up. The other receivers did a great job blocking on the outside, and we got to just continue to use him within this offense to create explosive plays because he's dangerous when he has the ball in his hands.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.